Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 20 of my multi-cloud network architecture series. And in this episode, we're going to talk about a real-world troubleshooting example. This week, I've invited special guest and cloud networking support engineer from the Aviatrix support team, Phuc Nguyen, to talk to us about what it's like to troubleshoot a common connectivity problem in the cloud, but troubleshoot it with Aviatrix in the mix. We're going to be troubleshooting a site-to-cloud connection. But before we get started, I want to mention how impressed I am with our support team at Aviatrix. And I'm not just saying that because I work for this company. I've spent the last 13 years in this industry working with all sorts of vendors, working with all sorts of support teams from these vendors. And I've never come across a team as strong as what I've found at Aviatrix. Aviatrix employs some of the best support engineers I have ever seen in my life. An incredibly strong team of engineers with experience in cloud, in WAN, in LAN, from all of the major vendors. We have people from Cisco and Juniper and every other vendor that you can think of. A very strong team. Our support is 24/7, world-class, geographically distributed, and our usual response times are like 3 minutes. Every time I've had to call on support to get an engineer to help me out with something, they're usually on the call before you know it. They're sitting there and listening to the conversation I'm having with my customers and like, oh, you already joined. Fantastic, let's get started. So I just love working with this team, and it's amazing to be a part of a mature organization with a mature support team. With that said, Phuc, tell me, what is a site-to-cloud connection?
Thanks for having me, Dana. So to answer your question, a site-to-cloud tunnel is essentially an IPsec tunnel that terminates at either a transit or one of our gateways. Essentially, all of our gateways are VPN concentrators within the cloud, and site-to-cloud provides secure connectivity from on-prem or wherever your location may be into the cloud.
Got it. So this can happen over the internet, but it can also happen over direct connects and express routes, right?
Correct. We also have an open VPN or user VPN functionality, but we won't be getting into that today. I just wanted to start by giving a quick overview of our site-to-cloud configuration and its functionality. There are a couple things that I really love about the service. One, it's ease of use. Two, it provides logging. Three, the diagnostic utilities that are at our disposal in troubleshooting any sort of site-to-cloud issues. After that, there's visibility. Mm-hmm. So we have packet captures that will give you insight into the network. Automation, the controller will automatically create routes for you within AWS or your environment. And then finally, it has a bit of intelligence, but we'll get to that towards the end. So we'll start with the ease of use. Essentially, everything you need to create a tunnel can be done just on this one page, as opposed to other vendors where you have to make multiple configurations, go to multiple pages or multiple ports of the firewall to, for example, create an ICANN policy. Everything here is preset for you. When you launch one of our gateways, the VPN service is ready to go. In this example, we'll just create a quick tunnel. I'm going to select my VPC, which is the North Virginia Lodi VPC. I'm going to give it a name, tunnel to corporate for a court. I'm going to just leave it as a generic tunnel. It's going to be a policy-based tunnel. If I wanted to change the algorithms, I can, but I'm going to leave the defaults of SHA-256, AES-256, Diffie-Hellman-14, and the same for phase 2. Mm-hmm. Lifetime is 28,800 and 3,600 for phase 1 and phase 2. I'm going to select my gateway, which I had previously launched. And now all I really need is the remote IP of the peer, the PSK, and then the remote subnet and the local subnet.
Okay, so the remote subnet and local subnet, the remote is what, and what is local for this config?
So local is the cloud side or the Aviatrix side, and then the remote would be the on-prem side.
Okay, so since this is policy-based, you have to tell the system what traffic needs to go through that tunnel, needs to be encrypted, and it'll then program those siders end-to-end for you, right?
Correct. We have to inform the gateway or the tunnel of the encryption domain.
Okay, and the alternate method is to do a route base where you could run BGP on top, right?
Yeah. If we create a transit gateway, then we could produce a BGP tunnel or even a routed VTI tunnel.
Got it. Cool.
So from here, we'll configure the tunnel. We'll leave all the defaults as they are, and for now, all I need essentially is the remote router or device's public IP address, which I'll input. Control. Okay, and then PSK. I'm just going to use something really simple. Password. The remote subnet, which is 192.168.44.0/24. My local subnet, the cloud subnet, which is 10.18.0.0/16.
And that could be a list of subnets too, right? If you have multiple subnets.
Correct. So, for example, if on the remote side, you can just put in a comma on 172.16.16.0/24.
Yep.
So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to click OK, and that's really it. So right now, as the gateway builds the tunnel, the controller is also adding routes within AWS to that 192.168.44 network.
Or Azure or GCP or Oracle, right? Any cloud, basically.
Any cloud.
Got it.
All right. So that's a part of the software-defined networking that the controller provides within the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from support, most folks will just sit here and stare at this down tunnel and hopefully wait for it to turn green. We're going to be a little bit more proactive. So as someone who's been working VPN tunnels for a while, I will say that there are three things that you need to troubleshoot a VPN. One, logging. Two, visibility of the network to be able to see the packets as they come and go. And then three, network diagnostic utilities. And the controller provides you all three of those things, and we'll demonstrate them as we work through this issue. At this point, we see that the tunnel's not coming up. Mm-hmm. Right. From there, we go to site-to-cloud diagnostics. We select our VPC, we select our tunnel, and then the gateway. And for now, I just want to show logs. Okay. So this is the part of the logging that the controller gives you. And just from what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing a whole bunch of phase one errors. But if we look right here, no phase one found. Now, that tells me that the remote end is not responding. That comes from experience, but if you ever see a no phase one found, that's usually the issue. We can confirm that by going to network visibility. If we go to troubleshoot diagnostics and then go down to packet capture, right? I want to change this to ETH0. That's my gateway, lab gateway. And then I'm just going to input the IP of the remote firewall right here for host.
Yep.
Duration, I'm going to say 30 seconds, and then I'm going to click start. Okay. So the controller has responded with the packet capture that it took on the gateway itself. And from here, we see the private IP address of our site-to-cloud gateway reaching out to the remote peer. However, if you notice, there's no bi-directional traffic. It's all one-way traffic. So at that point, it's pretty obvious that the remote side is not responding to ISACAP, right?
Yeah, that's powerful because in the cloud, you don't have any packet cap natively. But with Aviatrix, you have all these strategic places to do packet capture because you have our gateways in line of the traffic.
No, absolutely. I mean, you get to see everything has to passes through one of our gateways in the transit network. Mm-hmm. So you at each juncture, you have visibility. Even comparing this even to a VGW, you're not going to have these tools at your disposal. It's kind of like just stabbing in the dark and then relying on the other side to tell you what's going on.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, painful process for most of our customers.
Yeah, no, and then waiting for AWS support if how many hours or days it takes for them to get back to you. So last point I made was diagnostic tools, right? So gateway utility, I want to make sure that I want to see if I need ping that guy, right? I mean, I know network professionals love to ping things. Mm-hmm. So let's go. I'm going to change this to ETH0, and I'm going to say here. Okay, and that now our ping came back unresponsive. At this point, I have all the data that I need to go to my administrator of the remote side and say, hey, look, your device isn't responding to my tunnel. That was our first issue. Essentially, I'm gonna bring up the tunnel now, or allow the tunnel to form, and then we'll continue.
Okay.
So at this point, you've been in contact with the administrator of the remote side, and he apologized. He says, "Oh, we had a network outage during that time. Check it again. We should be good." Mm-hmm. Okay. Come back over here. And I'm just going to do a quick ping test again, and that now it's successful. So at this point, I'm gonna return to the logs, and I'm gonna hopefully see that we have phase 2 established.
Okay.
So back to site to cloud diagnostics. Same tunnel settings here, show logs, and I want to see what I'm looking for is phase 2 established. Okay, but instead of that, let's take a look. We see more phase 1 errors. Mm-hmm. In this case, we see retransmissions. Retransmissions to me says there's a bad PSK or a pre-shared key.
Interesting.
Right? So just to make it easy for the remote side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to site to cloud. I'm going to go to setup. I'm going to click on my tunnel, click edit, and then I'm going to download the configuration. Right, and then it comes in this file, and I'm going to send this to them. I'm going to say, hey, look, these are my settings right here. Mm-hmm. Right? And from my logs, it says is likely a bad pre-shared key. So I'm gonna send them this document, and then hopefully we'll have a good tunnel or a good negotiation thereafter.
Got it. And so this document that it generated was kind of a generic output, but there's also outputs for specific end devices, right? I saw a couple in there.
Yeah. So let's take a look.
So under vendor, I think you can specify other stuff.
Vendor, Aviatrix, that's really cloud end. That's generic as well. Yeah. If you want, there's Cisco, and then I think we were just on generic.
Okay.
With Cisco, we even have version.
That's cool.
Yeah, we can take a quick look at one of those guys. All right. With this, I mean, you can pretty much just from here just do a copy and paste.
Yeah.
The Cisco CLI, right?
That's cool. Makes your life easy. Yes, they don't make a mistake.
Absolutely. So now I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna correct the PSK on the remote side, and then we'll take a look at what we see next. Okay. So now I've spoken to the administrators of the remote side. He says everything is good. I've changed the PSK. We should have a working tunnel. So we go back to site to cloud. We go back to diagnostics, and then again we check out those logs again. Same settings, show action, show logs, and let's click OK. Okay. And so just right here, these top 3 lines tells me that the tunnel is up.
Got
right. It. We have a new phase 2 negotiation, and then we have SAs established.
Perfect.
So that's good. To confirm this, I'm going to take another step and show security association details. Mm-hmm. From here, I'm going to click OK. And there it is. So what's important about this screen or this area, if the tunnel was not up or phase 2 was not up, none of this information would be here. Most relevant when you're troubleshooting is this current tab. You see how currently it's at 0. Once traffic is passing through the tunnel, we will see that number increase, and we will get back to it. We will get back to this page. Okay. First thing an administrator does once he sees his tunnel is up, he wants to test network connectivity, right? So with that, I'm going to log into my Ubuntu machine, and I'm going to say I want to ping the remote side, right? This device is behind the Aviatrix gateway. We want to confirm connectivity end to end So here we go.
So this is traffic through the tunnel that we just brought up.
Right. Traffic from the private subnet to the gateway, across the tunnel to our peer.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah. And here it is. The remote side is 192.168.44/24. So, okay. So right now, my ping's not working. But that's okay, because Aviatrix gives us the tools to diagnose this, right? As an administrator, I say, okay, the first thing I want to confirm is, can my gateway get to that IP address? So let's go diagnostics. I'm gonna select my gateway, change this to ETH0, and then I want to try to ping that same IP address, 24.28. And so now I know that the Aviatrix gateway is able to traverse the tunnel.
Okay, interesting.
So, but my EC2 is not. So that means that there's still something fundamentally incorrect within the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that our controller built a route within AWS's route table for the 192.168.44 network to point to the gateway. But we can definitely confirm all those things. So from there, we're pretty much going to use flight path. So now if we want to confirm that the routing is correct within AWS, we go to troubleshoot, and then we go to flight path. Okay. And from here, this is probably one of our most powerful tools, because it offers a bit of intelligence in the cloud, right? It's going to do all that troubleshooting for you. I'm going to say the source. I'm going to select my instance. So first I'm going to select my VPC. I'm going to query for the resource. And here goes my Ubuntu lab. Now for the destination.
So just real quick, we're clear, that Ubuntu lab, that's the PC that we were pinging from earlier, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. That's our source, yeah. Okay.
Since this is on-prem and not within the cloud, we're going to change this to IP address.
Okay.
192.168.44.28. And then down here where it says interface, I want to say it's a private, and then I want to test SSH or port 22.
Yep.
Okay. And from there, I'm going to hit flight path. Now this screen presents all the steps I would have taken if I had to troubleshoot this myself within AWS or the cloud. If I was to do basic troubleshooting for a network issue within the cloud, I'm going to look at security groups, I'm going to look at route tables, and I'm going to look at network ACLs or NACLs. Flight path automatically goes through all those points for you and tells you where your error is. So it tells me I'm failing at my security groups, right? So it looks like for my outbound rules, all I have is a single IP address. Thus, that was the reason why I was unable to reach the destination.
So we're able to pinpoint with a 5-second report that the issue was an ACL entry, and the security groups was missing, right?
Correct.
Got it.
Okay. So from there, I'm going to say, okay, well, now I know what it is I need to fix. So I'm going to go back to AWS.
If you go back to that for 1 second, if you scroll down, does it give you a little report? I think it gives you a little report. It says, could not find a rule in the outbound security group of the source to allow that IP to hit that destination. That's really powerful. They give you this little analysis.
Yeah, correct.
Great.
You're absolutely right, Dana. Now we're going to go correct this and then try to retest our ping, and let's take a look. All right. So now we've corrected the security group issue. We're going to run another flight path test, and let's just same thing here. Source, a troubleshoot flight path. We're going to query resources for the source. Okay, I'm going to select my lab and Ubuntu machine. Destination stays the same. Scroll down. I still have that private. I still have port 22. I'm going to run flight path again. Okay.
Great.
And now everything is showing us a pass.
There we go.
Okay. Now, I also want to be able to see this traffic as it hits my gateway. So we're going to go back to troubleshoot diagnostics. And then just for further confirmation, I'm going to go to packet capture, select E0, and then I'm going to, let's do this by...
So you can add a filter is what you're doing.
Yes, I'm going to add a filter just so I don't see all the other noise that's on the network right now.
Yeah.
So there, and then I'm do this for 15 seconds. Okay, and now this is all of our bidirectional pings.
Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to get back to was earlier I'd mentioned current within security associations. So from here we go to Site to Cloud, Diagnostics, and we select our VPC and our tunnel. We go to show security association details, and we click OK. And then from there we see this current value.
Yeah.
Right.
Encrypted packets. Okay.
Yeah. If we click OK again and refresh the screen, if you notice, it keeps on climbing and going up.
Mm-hmm. And
that's how we know that encrypted packets are passing through the tunnel.
Okay. I also saw in 6.0 we added a new feature where if you don't know how to read all these IPsec outputs and logs, we have an analysis that you can run. Can you just run that analysis and see what it says? It's probably going to say everything's good right now, but it should interpret. Yeah, it should interpret problems for you.
Yes. So let's do this. That's absolutely correct, Dana. I'm gonna run the analysis. Everything should be fine, right?
Yep.
Connection tunnel is up, but I'm gonna force the other side down, and let's see what happens.
Okay, cool.
I've just shut the remote side down, so let's see what the analysis will provide us this time. All right, and here, tunnel analysis, peer gateway not reachable over port 500.
Okay. So it actually tells you there's a connectivity problem. So you shut it down. Basically, it's not responding. So of course, there's an IP connectivity problem now. It tells you that hey, it's not reachable. If it was reachable, but it got like halfway through the peering process and it failed, it would give you say, hey, the PSK might be bad or your algorithms are mismatched, right?
Correct. So it takes a lot of
the guessing out of it, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. Phuc, this is really interesting because I know a lot of our customers build IPsec tunnels from cloud to on-prem, whether it's from a cloud to their own on-prem data center or cloud to a data center or a peer that's a partner or a customer or some third party. So having these tools available, I can tell would be invaluable.
No, I agree 100%. And just talking as a network professional, I go back to the three things that are essential in troubleshooting this. It's logging, it's network diagnostics utilities, and it's visibility, right?
Yeah.
So with logging, we have the IPsec logs, which isn't available within AWS PGW, right? Mm-hmm. With diagnostic tools, we have ping tests, telnet from the gateway themselves, and then with visibility, we have packet captures.
Yep.
So
yeah. So basically, everything that the cloud is missing from a troubleshooting perspective is in the controller for you to use to troubleshoot and figure out your problems really quickly. Just imagine how much time you save when it comes to the deployment and the troubleshooting of cloud networks when you have an intelligent platform instead of the native cloud constructs. It's a huge amount of time, and time is really money right now, right?
That's correct. I mean, with any enterprise network, these tunnels are the lifeblood of their connectivity, and any amount of hours or minutes they're down, you're probably, our customers are probably losing money.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. Okay, Phuc, thank you so much for being here with me today. I thought this was really interesting, and I'm happy you're able to showcase it for all of our potential customers.
No problem, Dana. Thank you.
Okay, so what did Aviatrix do for us in this scenario? Very straightforward. The Aviatrix Cloud Networking Platform provided us detailed logs for the IPsec connection. We could parse through these logs and see exactly why the IPsec connection wasn't coming up. Cloud native termination points provide zero visibility into the logs of this type of connection. Aviatrix provided us IPsec show outputs for deeper analysis, and we only showed a couple of them. There's actually 5 or 6 different show outputs you can run to get details about the connection. Now, if you're not big into IP routing or IPsec connections, Aviatrix also provided a new feature in the 6.0 version to automatically interpret and analyze the logs and outputs to give you a suggestion as to what might be wrong. So it gives you a place to start looking. Lastly, Aviatrix provide us tools for connectivity testing, such as ping, traceroute, and packet capture. Packet capture coming in really handy for these types of problems. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please reach out to us if you have any questions about Aviatrix. Look forward to hearing from you. See you next time.